Whenever a movie is based on a book, there is always discussion about which one is better, the book or the movie. Well, in the case of The Wild Robot, while the movie is not a mirror image of the book, they are both very good, and it would be a disservice to either to put one above the other. Let's talk about it. Forewarning, there will be mild spoilers for the book and movie. So with that out of the way, I recently finished reading the book, The Wild Robot. It was a quick but fun read. Peter Brown has great skill as a writer because even though the book is written at a 5th grade level, it has complexity and layers of meaning.
Layers! Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it. We both have layers.
The Wild Robot is a really good example of a layered story, meaning that you can enjoy the story of Roz and Brightbill as it is without even looking for the little lessons that the writer has woven into the story. The story follows a robot named Rosm Unit 7134, or Roz for short. The robot washes up on the shores of a small island where she begins to interact and make friends with the other animals on the island. Her experience with each animal is unique, and in fact is a great lesson about diversity of experience and skill, as she has different learning experience with each animal. Now in the movie, these interactions still happen, but are much faster, which makes sense in a movie. Movies don't have time for a sit-down with each forest animal, but a book does. In fact, these animal encounters constitute the first 46 chapters of the book. There's a document linked in the description which describes each encounter that Roz has with each animal and what lessons she learned. A quick note about the book. The version that I read has 269 pages and 80 chapters, meaning that most of the chapters are very short. This does two things. One, it makes the reader feel better about themselves for having read so many chapters in a day. And two, it divides the book into sections that can easily be referenced. So the first animal that Roz encounters on the main part of the island and learns something from is the bear cubs. Roz bothered the cubs while they were sleeping and they wanted their revenge. It is a lesson of survival, a very fitting first lesson in any situation. Several of the lessons after this are also about survival, as Roz learns about camouflage from a stick bug and the dangers of the forest from a fox. Then she meets Brightbill, and the animals begin to teach her about being a parent. She learns how to build a lodge from a beaver. She learns how to grow and tend a garden from a doe. Things that she wouldn't necessarily need on her own, but since she needs to care for Brightbill, the gosling, they are appropriate things for her to learn. Almost the entire first half of the book takes her through this journey of learning how to care for herself and her adopted child. It is at this point, the midway point, that the movie and the book differ, not necessarily in their story, but in their focus. The movie focuses more on Roz's relationship with Brightbill and how Roz teaches Brightbill to do things that he needs to do as a goose, which culminates in the skill learning montage in the movie. It's more cinematic and dramatic, so I can understand why the change in focus. The book does have these elements, but the story focuses more on Roz's experience in the forest without Brightbill. And in fact, we don't even get to hear about what Brightbill did during the migration until after he returns to the forest. And as much as I did like both endings in their unique ways, I'm not going to spoil any of that. I'll just emphasize that there were elements from both that I liked. The two stories are similar enough that the liberties that the movie took that departed from the story in the book were understandable. It's a cinematic experience that has less than 2 hours to tell its story. Liberties need to be taken. The Wild Robot book would be a really good tool for parents or adults to discuss what things that Roz learned and how children or even adults could apply those same lessons in their own lives. For example, in chapter 37, Brightbill meets Chit Chat the squirrel. Now, it's not explicitly stated that the squirrel didn't have any friends, but I thought it was implied because Chit Chat mentions how she talks too much, was chased by a weasel, and was so quick to make friends with Brightbill, who was such a good listener. This was a fun part of the book. Let's read about it. From chapter 37. Reader, I'm not quite sure how Chit Chat got enough air into her lungs to go on like that. And I'm not quite sure how Brightbill had the patience to listen. But he stood there and politely nodded as Chit Chat rambled on and on and on. The squirrel froze. Then she slowly turned around, and then she started to talk. Hi, Bright Bill. My name is Chit Chat, and I'm a 12-and-a-half-week-old squirrel, and I'm new around here, and your home is really big and round, and I don't understand why smoke sometimes comes out of it, and sometimes I see you waddling behind your funny-looking mother, and it seems so nice that I thought I'd come down and introduce myself, but now I'm nervous, I'm talking too much, and my name is Chit Chat, and I think I said that already. There was a pleasant silence. Bright Bill stood on one foot for a moment. Then the gosling took a deep breath and said, It's very nice to meet you, Chit Chat. I don't think you talk too much. I think you talk just enough, and I'd like you, so let's be friends. A big smile appeared on the squirrel's tiny face. For once, Chit Chat was speechless. A great lesson about the importance of friendship. There are many similar lessons in the book. So what is my recommendation? The Wild Robot book is not the same as the movie, but it is an easy read, and it could be a valuable resource for teaching children about relationships with those around us, especially those who seem different than us. Everyone has something that they can offer. I hope you enjoy the book as much as I did. It's such a fun little book. Like the video and tell me what you thought about the movie or the book in the comments, and we'll see you next time.